As an organization, like any organization, we have a set of values that drive what we do, who we have involved with us, and how we treat our students and our team members. So we have a number of values, and our number one value is equity. And I've talked about this in our other videos that describe why we do what we do. Another one of our values is democratizing education. I'd love to share the most important value for us, but also to just list out for you the values that drive what we do and how we do it. So equity is number one. Democratizing higher education is number two. Simplicity and frugality is number three. Ingenuity and innovation is our next value, number four. Done is better than perfect is value number five. Number six is global first, and that's really important to us. Number seven is to influence outcomes, which is tied to our most important value. And number eight is an invincible and humble team. So our values drive what we do and how we do it and who we work with and how we serve those people that we have as our students or our clients in our consulting. But number one is equity. And equity is important because it's very, very different from equality. When I was raised, equality was the important word, equality of opportunity or equal opportunity. But as most people have discovered, or many people have discovered, it's just not good enough and doesn't cut it. So equity and opportunity and to influence outcomes is our number one value. Equity and opportunity and to influence outcomes. See, equity is a really important word because it means certain things to certain people, but I'd like to be clear about what equity means for the University of Applied Research and Development. You know, we have an awarding body called NOCN, also won awards, and also OTHM at the time of recording this, and we have approval and endorsement and accreditation of our programs with the Veterans Affairs Association in the United States of America. And these accreditations and endorsements and awarding organizations are really important to us because they have a similar set of values and want to make sure that equity of opportunity and to influence outcomes is at the forefront of what they do. You see, equity ensures that everyone has access to the same treatment, the same opportunities, and the same advancement. Equity aims to identify, not only identify, but to eliminate those barriers that prevent everyone from fully participating, regardless of which group or ethnicity or region they may come from. And this ties very clearly to the rest of our values. So we believe that as part of equity, the distribution of opportunity needs to be equal, and equity needs to be in the outcomes, the distribution, which means that people, regardless of where they come from, where they're located, what group they may belong to, they have the distribution of that opportunity to them. And we believe it's our responsibility. It's our innate responsibility because as an organization, we have shareholders, but legally and morally and ethically, UARD is an organization and is an entity legally unto itself. It makes decisions for itself. It's endowed and imbued with a mission and a vision for itself. It can perform actions for itself, and it can allocate resources by itself as an organization. And so while UARD, we may have shareholders, we don't believe in agency theory. We believe in company theory, where our company, our organization, our university can decide on the direction, the values, and then allocate the resources appropriately so that we may play what Simon Sinek calls the infinite game. That we're not just here to make a buck, we're not just here for a few years and then to sell out, but we're here for the long term to pursue a mission of equity as our number one value, because that'll ensure the distribution of opportunity because it's our responsibility. See, it's more than inclusion, and inclusion is an important word, but equity is more than inclusion. It's more than equality. Because equality is aspirational. We may aspire to provide an equal opportunity for everybody, but equity is about actions. It's not just about intentions, it's about what we do. We can measure equity. We can measure the number of people that we impact, the number of people who we have distributed the opportunity to, and the number of people who have had the outcome, not just the opportunity. See, equity is actionable. So we put words and actions at the front, not just words. Not everybody starts in the same place, and we recognize that. And this is why this value of equity is so important for us, because everybody may have the opportunity to go to the starting line, but some people don't turn up at the starting line from the same starting point. Some people may not have the same income. They may not have the same upbringing. They may not have the same family connections. They may not have the same training. They may not have the same prior education. They may not have the same access to languages and training at the highest level. And so when people arrive at the starting line, they may be fully equipped or they may not be fully equipped to take part in the race. So it's identifying, how do people turn up at the starting line and where do they arrive from, so that we can provide an increased level of support while they're with us. An increased level of support. Why? Because not everyone turns up from the same starting point. It's not about being at the same starting point. It's about where they turn up from. And so some people have a problem with that. Some organizations have a problem with that, that some people may receive extra resourcing, extra time, extra energy, extra support that other people don't get. But that's what equity imbues. It's what it mandates. And it's measurable because it's an action. Because not everyone starts from the same starting point, even though they might arrive at the same starting line. We also need to put in place some trauma-informed principles in recognizing that people bring certain baggage with them that wasn't their choice when they arrive at UARD, ready to enroll in a diploma, a certificate, in a bachelor degree, a master's, or a doctoral level program at level 8 from the United Kingdom. And so how do we help them to fully participate in the opportunity that they may have received? It's extra resourcing, it's extra time, it's extra understanding, and it's providing the resources that they need to ensure that not only are they at the starting line, but they can fully participate and receive equality of outcome. See, it means that those trauma-informed practices and principles are actionable and they are measurable and they are part of our values of equity. We believe that equity has 4 levels. There's the personal level, there's the interpersonal level in the way that we respond to each other. There's organizational, and that means our procedures, our practices, our policies. Then there's those larger systems that equity operates at. And as we grow as an organization and as we impact more people and as more people join the team, our opportunity to go from the personal to the interpersonal, to go to the organizational in terms of practices and policies and procedures, we can also impact the larger system of education, not just within the spheres that we operate regionally or nationally, but also globally, because global is one of our values. And all of our values feed into the number 1 value of equity. And finally, we intend to, as part of our value of equity, use our organizational influence to have an impact on the practices of equity at the local, at the regional or state, the national and the international level. Because in line with our value of influencing outcomes, having an incredible team, getting things done rather than perfect, simplicity, where this is clearly explained, using innovation and our ingenuity to democratize higher education. So all of our values align with equity. This is our purpose, this is our practice, and this is our outcome. And this is why it's so important to me. As the founder, as the CEO, And as the president of the University of Applied Research and Development, we will pursue our number one value because it's so important to us, of equity and opportunity to influence outcomes.